And welcome everybody to the Jeremy Womack Show. I have Miss Trainer Joe, otherwise known as Josephine Dalton, in the studio with me. If you want to know anything about Josephine while we're talking, you can always go to thejeremywomackshow.com. There I have a little page that I set up for her with links and information about her. You can find out more about what she offers. She's a fitness and personal trainer. You can find out rates, some of the success stories, and how there's a video at the end that you might want to watch. How excited people are when she's kicking their butt. So, Joe, thanks for coming in. Thanks for hanging out with me today.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
So, I've known Joe for a long time, various different professions. Well, we'll clarify that by saying one of them was that you worked as a cocktail waitress.
Yes.
At the Studio 54, right?
That's right.
Fun fact.
Yes.
This guy right here was almost going to be a DJ at Studio 54 back in the day.
You?
George Carson is who we're talking about.
Yeah, that was years and years ago, back when I was 33. But yeah, I came out from Pennsylvania. They're going to hire me, and I did it for about 3 days and decided I couldn't do it.
He didn't like the dress code.
Yeah, I dressed too nice for that.
He didn't fist pump enough, I guess.
But you not of hair gel either, right?
That's right.
But you worked there for quite a while.
Yeah, about 5 years.
Yeah, and we get our mic up a little bit. You no longer do that, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So, but doing that was also, it's very physical.
Yes, that's why I did it. I mean, to be perfectly honest, I'm a college-educated woman.
Right.
I just can't sit down.
Right.
I got to be up moving around.
Now.
Oh,
I know.
It's
you
horrible.
would like to be standing right now.
I prefer to be up and around moving all the time. Yes.
We can take a break and let her jump jacks or something if we really need to. We can do that.
Can I do burpees?
I can do that.
It would be very blurry on the camera, but I think that if
you
would
get
like
the exercise in.
Sure.
Well, when we do this, don't tell everybody what I'm doing because I'm sure it'll sound cool.
It will.
All right, cool.
I don't even know what a burpee will sound like. I'm assuming it sounds like a burp, but pretty sure it doesn't sound
Google
like
it.
That. I will. Oh, is there people?
A lot.
A lot of videos.
Just ask anybody in gym, would you like to do some burpees with me? They'll look at you and want to kill you.
Really? Oh, well, I know that they are something that people don't want to do.
You want to try it?
No.
Come on.
Not right now.
Live a little.
George would.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Right back by here. I'm just going to do a burpee.
We need a little bit more space.
Yeah, that's not a lot of room in here.
Something the size of a king-size bed.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you like the description on
California king or just regular king?
I've seen them.
King.
I've seen them. I know that you jump up and then you go down and jump up, and so I guess a bed would be pretty good for something like that.
Give you more bounce.
I think so. Depends on the bed, I guess. If it was a Tempur-Pedic, you're probably just gonna squish into it.
Where I come from back in PA, it was just called Good Sex Night.
Is that what it's called?
And it's funny how we get to this subject coming from fitness.
Well, that's
what we all do it for. I tell people, like, honestly, who really works out for their health? No, we work out because we want to look good naked. So let's just we're all on the same page here, right?
I'm on that page, George.
Oh, can't you tell? Look at me. I'm a fitness guru.
Obviously.
Yes,
but that to work out is why.
Oh, okay.
You know, you do it so you look good naked, not necessarily.
No, I just turn the lights out. I'm okay.
Oh, that's a good plan too.
I've never thought about that before.
It saves me time
and energy, right?
And energy, right?
All you do is just that's it, or push, or that's it, and the lights.
I'm really that lazy.
That's exercise right there. Can I just do that over and over and over and over again?
We'll create a tempo.
Well, wouldn't that be kind of bad, though, if you're actually doing a burpee in the bedroom and you have those lights? Wouldn't it kind of clap your lights off and on if you're making that clapping?
That's a fantastic question, George.
I don't have that type of technology in my place. I have to actually go up there and turn a knob.
He's suggesting that you install it just for scientific purposes, yeah.
And if this happens, let us know. You know, it'd be kind of like a disco studio, I guess, with flashing lights. And
that'll be so cool.
See? I'm always thinking.
He's always thinking of all these new things to do, whatever the industry is.
And
if you did this.
And all this came from the word burpees.
Yes, which makes you now. Did it come from that idea that when you do that, it makes you burp?
I have no idea.
Do people? Well, you are a trainer, so you do it enough where you might know if people actually do burp when they're doing it.
I don't care, but I just like the fact that everywhere you go, everybody knows what a burpee is.
And they don't want to do it.
Correct.
But their trainer makes them.
I use them as punishment.
Don't let her smile.
Oh, my God. I'm going to tell you right now, these girls listen when I threaten burpees.
That's right. And if again, if you go to the JeremyWomackShow.com and scroll down to the bottom, you can see how excited they are to do it. Actually, they in the video they seem to be enjoying themselves, and you give them the little tagline to say, what is it?
I love this shit.
That's right. So they're sweating profusely, or they're on a treadmill or on an elliptical or something, and that's what they're saying while they're doing it.
That's correct. They do. They love that shit.
But especially they like the results that come from it.
Yeah.
So you're there to motivate them. Yeah, sure, you could go down to the gym and do it yourself, which I do, but I can see the benefit while I'm there. You know, I would like that extra kick in the butt to get me going.
I tell people hiring a trainer is a lot like going to college and get a career counselor. I mean, yeah, you can just show up on campus, walk into a couple classes, but are you really going to get a degree that way? No, you go to a career counselor, you tell them what you want, she puts you on the path, tells you what classes to take and what GPA you need to maintain, just like personal training. You want to look a certain way, you want more muscle or do you want less muscle or whatever. Well, I put you through a program and you do exactly what I say, and you do it at this intensity,
right?
And you will get results after so long.
Well, and then you're there to make sure that they continue that. It's not like you just hand them like a booklet and say, go do this. You're there to help them too, because that's the drive that people need, and it's worth the pay really to have somebody to do that, because then you have someone to be accountable for, to show up on time and do the, you could be in the gym, you're doing some sort of rep, and in your mind you're like, I want to do 15 of these, but then you're at 12 and you're like, yeah, I think I did enough. But your trainer's there, nope, we got 3 more. And trainers have an interesting way of losing count too.
I know.
You'll find that.
I tell people, I think I'm the only trainer that doesn't know how to count.
I've never had Jo as a trainer, but I'm sure she would figure out how to count.
Most of the time I don't like to count.
Right?
I just look at your face and go, you're not working hard enough, keep going.
Not there yet.
Yeah, keep going until your face is flat on the floor.
Wow,
that's the best way to go.
Wow. For that particular set, and then it's on to the next one.
Yeah.
But it's true. I've worked out with trainers before, and it's okay. You're going to do 8, and you're like, okay, so you're at 7, and then for some reason they go, okay, 5, and you're like, no, the next one was supposed to be 8. What do you mean 5?
It's kind of funny. Sometimes actually about half of the time I won't count. I will count, but I will have my client either I don't know, recite the Pledge of Allegiance, or if they're religious, the Lord's Prayer. Don't count. Unless I mean, you keep going till you can't do it no more, and they'll be surprised on just how many reps they end up doing. As a matter of fact, I used a technique on a gal that was training to get into the police force, but she had to pass a physical exam.
Sure.
And when she first worked with me, she said her problem was, I can only do 11 push-ups. Okay, let's see you do 11 push-ups. She stopped at 11.
Okay.
She worked with me that Tuesday, that Thursday, the following Tuesday, and then the next Thursday, I told her exactly what to do. I said, okay, do me a favor. While you're doing your push-ups, you pay attention to your form, your breathing, you recite the Lord's Prayer, and I will count. When we were done, she did 22.
Wow. Because at first she thought she could only do 11, because in her mind she'd said it, I can only do 11, and as she probably hit 9 and 10, she could feel it more, and then at 11 she's like, okay, I'm done. And you're like, no, you can do 22.
Yeah.
Do you think when she was done that she thanked God it was over?
I'm sure she did, but she's a police now.
Thank the Lord for helping me do 22 push-ups and getting into the police force.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's I think counting sometimes is a psychological barrier for a lot of people. And, they're told, oh, I need to be able to do 8 repetitions of this. And in their mind, 8 repetitions was impossible.
Well, I think a lot of that is due in part to the fact that when you read things, let's say you don't have a trainer to help you. So you grab Muscle and Fitness magazine. It doesn't matter what magazine it might be, but you grab it and it says, hey, you're going to do 3 sets of... Oh, we're getting picture taken.
Hi.
You got to warn me, man. See?
I don't want to. I want to catch you off.
No,
okay.
one more.
Okay, here you go. Pose now.
Okay. Perfect.
See, she had the better pose. Your face was actually blocked.
Because she's a model and I'm not. So.
I used to be a model. Not anymore.
Not anymore. So so you grab these Muscle and Fitness magazines or whatever, and it says, okay, you're going to do 3 sets of 12 reps. And it's ingrained in our mind that that's what you do. Okay, so I do chest press, and I do Arnold's or whatever, and it says do it at this amount, and so that's all you do. So I mean, I guess that's really the benefit of having somebody there to help you.
Well, also magazines, they're generalized. I mean,
Right.
you can do that, I could do it. I mean, we don't follow the same exact protocol. At least it's something.
Right.
Whereas a trainer actually fine tunes it specifically for the client.
Right.
And also, I mean, what if 8 reps was like, oh, okay, that was easy.
Right.
Oh, I could do this every day.
Yeah, well, that's what I do see sometimes. I'll see people working out, and they're going through the motions. They're reading, let's say, the newspaper. We're going extreme, and they're very casually riding on the bike. And you're like, I understand that you're doing a movement, and that's good if that's all you can do right now. That you're moving towards something, but I'll see the same people doing the same thing over and over again because they're like, well, I worked out.
Yeah. Well,
I do what I was supposed to.
Well, a lot of people don't understand that when it comes to exercise to make it effective, it's not how many reps you do. It's not how much weight you're doing. It's the intensity. It's
Right.
the whole, getting uncomfortable.
Right.
Okay. A lot of people think that no pain, no gain. Well, actually, there's some truth to that. It doesn't have to be painful, but a lot of people call muscular discomfort pain.
Okay.
I mean, on a scale of 10, let's be honest. That muscular discomfort is maybe at the most a 7 or 8, right?
Sure.
Okay, it's just that you're not used to it, and that's actually your body trying to tell you, stop.
Right.
You're using too much energy here,
Right.
And so people automatically, I gotta stop.
Right.
And they exert themselves, or they start to breathe.
Right.
And they don't understand that the increased breathing is actually just meaning that your body's burning calories. You need oxygen to burn calories.
Right.
And then they stop. Oh, I don't.
I'm
want
breathing
people
too hard.
Yeah, I'm breathing too hard. Or I must be. I don't want people to think I'm weak or something.
Sure.
And even the most elite athletes go through the exact same process of first few repetitions. You don't really breathe a whole lot. Next thing you know, and we all go through it.
Okay.
And you have to embrace that because your oxygen consumption is directly proportional to the amount of calories that you're burning.
Right.
So if you want to spend 2 hours on a treadmill to burn 500 calories, or you can burn 500 calories doing 20 minutes of high intensity training instead.
The high intensity stuff is absolutely nuts. I mean, I've done it before, and it's these bursts of, how you could be on an elliptical and just you might see someone in the gym and you're like, why are they working out that hard? They're just going balls out and
Balls
they
to
do
the
it for like
wall.
60 seconds and then they take like a 15-second break or something and then they do it again and your heart rate just jumps. But the fact that your heart rate is going so fast, and I'm not here to profess I know very much, and feel free to correct me anytime you want, but the fact that your heart rate is
do push-ups.
Yeah, make me do burpees or something if I'm wrong. Spank me. If I'm doing it, if I'm increasing my heart rate, that's more than I'm typically would. That's directly dipping into burning your fat
Yes.
because your fat's basically a storage reserve for you.
Kind of,
sort of. Okay.
Everybody's kind of different. Initially speaking, you're going to start burning off what we call creatine phosphate.
Okay.
Okay, and that usually is necessary for especially strength moves. One requires a lot of weight, but you can only do a few reps. Then and there's a portion of it coming from the creatine phosphate. The second portion is coming from carbohydrates. Everybody kind of burns at a different rate.
Okay.
And it's all genetics and, your level of fitness at the moment and stuff, and also what you're doing. Fat actually is one of those weird things because I've been tested. I've gone through testing before. I'm a straight carb burner.
Right.
I don't burn fat during my exercises.
Okay.
I also am the kind of person that needs constant carbohydrate intake while I'm working out.
Wow.
Okay, and then there's some people that can do the exact same thing.
So you're walking around with a bowl of pasta, just
almost. Well, yeah. Actually, usually some kind of carbohydrate. I think like a waxy maize starch. Sometimes I'll just use a sports drink.
Okay.
Okay.
What about a Snickers bar?
I wish.
I would before I ran track, I would always eat one of those, and I did very well. Yes.
And then you got some people that they can do it on an empty stomach.
Okay.
But no matter where it's directly coming from, you have to be tested for. Okay.
Right.
So most people don't tap directly into their fat. They mostly are burning off creatine and carbohydrates. And
Right.
Sugars or whatever's stored in your muscle as glycogen or your liver as glycogen or the glucose that's actually flowing through your bloodstream at the time, okay?
Right.
And for a lot of people, like with this high intensity stuff, what they do is they burn down that glycogen and the blood sugar, burn it
Okay.
down completely. And that causes their, what we call an EPOC or post-exercise oxygen consumption, or the afterburn as we call it.
Okay.
And then what you end up doing is for the rest of the day, your body will pull from your fat stores
Okay.
to just live off of.
Just
okay?
to maintain and
Yeah.
go through life to open a door, I guess.
Yeah. Now, some people will argue against this. I don't know how how much of it's theory or if it's actually real, but to me it explains a lot.
Okay.
Why some people can spend 20 minutes just killing themselves and in the gym, and yet they're so lean and gorgeous. Take the same person, same exact genetics, same diet, and you give them a different type of workout, and they're not quite like that. I mean, take a look at people like who are long distance runners. Look at them compared to someone who is a sprinter.
Sure.
Look at the big difference in their body structure, their muscle size, the amount of fat. Believe it or not, a lot of long distance runners are actually skinny fat. They have a lot. Their body fat percentage is a lot higher than you would think.
They are. I've seen the skinny fat because they run half marathons, marathons, whatever, and then their legs are just skinny, but it's also
Jiggly, kind of.
jiggly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're like, but you run so much, and it's a weird concept in your head as a thinking logically. You go, why that doesn't make sense, but
well, what happens is that the body is this amazing thing that stores fat, controls metabolism, on all these different functions. You know, you'll never truly understand the human body because everybody's different, but you'll see these people that are long distance runners, in order for them to sustain such a long duration, their body wants to bring down their total body weight.
Right.
What a great way to do it, by burning off muscle,
right.
Okay, and keeping just a little bit of fat to survive off of. Okay, versus someone who is like a short distance runner or a power lifter or something like that. They need more muscle.
They need that. Is it twitch muscle or
fast twitch muscle?
Fast twitch muscle.
Slow twitch muscles are long distance runners.
Right.
And they need a lot of it in order to pull off that weight.
Right.
Okay. But then again, they can't last very long.
No.
Okay? But also, let's take a bodybuilder with those type of muscle fibers and that size. Tell them to run 6 miles, they'll last a quarter of a block.
True. So it just depends on what type of running you need or
But so also they don't need to be running long distance, so their body won't really necessarily store fat.
Sure.
Well, see, that's kind of like me. I've got this 24-pack, and I just, I can outdo everything.
And that 24-pack is sexy, let me tell you.
Well, thank you, and I'm working. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Good job, George.
So I'm an advocate for high-intensity training. As a matter of fact, I train myself in a format called high-intensity circuit training. I literally go from different exercise back to back. I usually spend no more than 20 minutes on a workout.
Okay.
Okay, now, of course, if I need to shed off a lot of fat, okay, I make sure those 20 minutes are very, very high intense, so no matter what, I don't lose out on any of my muscle.
Right.
Okay, and then I'll use my diet and a HIIT training or high-intensity interval training on cardio for 30 minutes to burn off the rest of the fat.
So a high-intensity interval training will help anybody, or that's still a body type thing?
I feel my understanding, it helps just about anybody. Okay. All depends on your goals, but I mean, I've seen it where it didn't work. Like I've seen some people that just did so much better on low intensity.
I preferred doing HIIT workouts on the elliptical.
I do that too.
But I've seen people try to do it on a treadmill, and the problem is that you have to go up in speed and down in speed really quickly, and on elliptical you're going, and you can just stop, and then there's nothing else. There's no movement going on. I guess it can continue.
Maybe not the way I do it. You should join me sometime.
No, well, I mean,
he said no
I
right
said,
off the bat.
No, I'm not going to do
no
it.
burpees, no nothing.
That wasn't the point. I guess in the treadmill is that if you wanted to, let's say you had it at 7, and then you wanted to dip it down to 3, because I guess you could jump off to the sides, and is that what people might do? I don't know.
You could. I mean, yeah, you could probably do like, I'll give you an example of a HIIT thing that you can do on this is high intensity interval training, not circuit training. Even though it is a form of circuit training. Let's just say you can get on, and I do this with some of my clients. I get them on there for a quarter-mile sprint. Let's just say your normal running speed is 5 miles an hour. Okay, I'll put you on there for 8 miles an hour.
Okay.
That means by the time you hit the end of that quarter mile, you're spent.
Right.
You can't go any further. Bring you down off of there and maybe make you do jumping jacks. Start off and then start to slow it down and then march in place for a moment and then get back on the treadmill and do another sprint. That would be a form of actual HIIT training.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how long would they be off that treadmill doing all the other things?
That would depend on how much they can handle. I mean, what you want to do is that you want to get them so high on the high end that they barely make it through. Like what they say, anywhere from 75 to 95% of your max. Okay. Bring them down, but you don't want them to stop.
Right.
Okay. That no longer becomes HIIT training. HIIT training goes from high intensity to a lower intensity, but not stopping. So you get on the floor and let's just say I'll have them do jumping jacks, light or maybe just kind of jog in place, lightly until they get down to a certain heart rate level, something that can stay. Now, everyone is going to, depending on your fitness level, they're going to adjust or come back to normal at a different time. Usually the more in shape you are, the more receptive your heart is to your workouts and will slow down quickly.
Okay.
Now, someone who's not so fit might take them longer.
Okay.
Okay, so let's just say I have them on a quarter mile sprint for, let's say, 5 miles an hour.
Right.
Okay, or maybe they can last a quarter mile, maybe an eighth of a mile. Okay. Then I'll have them just kind of jog lightly in place for like maybe 30 seconds and then stop for a moment, let the heart rate come down, because you cannot take somebody new and just all balls to the wall head
They
training.
might die.
That is something that you need to work up to.
Sure.
Okay, and then put them back on the treadmill again. Now, someone more in shape, let's just say I have a, I don't know, MMA fighter, okay, trying to work on cardio endurance and all that, right? I might get them on there for a quarter mile sprint, 7 to 10 miles an hour, all out, get on the floor, and we're going to do burpees would be an idea, okay? Or maybe even we'll call high knees or butt kicks or box jumps where they jump back and up and down off a box.
Right.
Jump squats is another good one. And then jog in place lightly, bring the heart rate down, and then put them right back up there again. Go for about 20, no more than 30 minutes typically in HIIT training.
Now, you've all heard all this information, and you might be going, what? What did she just say? Tell us a little bit about your background and your training, because you have some pretty notable credits. You're a certified personal trainer here in Vegas, a certified caloric sports nutritionist. You are part of the official Live Strong Fitness. You are a presenter with that. So there's a couple of videos on her site that you can see with that. Official EHOW fitness presenter. Veteran of the U.S. Navy, by the way.
Thank you.
Persian Gulf War, and then exclusively you're here at City Athletic Club in Las Vegas, which is right around the corner from here on Sahara. Used to be a 24-hour fitness, if people recall that, on West Sahara. And then the Body Electric Over 40 Club.
That's right.
Talk a little bit about that, because I know that you wanted to talk about that.
Yeah.
And then about some of your other your credentials and you know what even made you get into this field. Did it have anything to do with being in the armed forces and you had to be fit for that, or where'd that come from?
Okay, well, I mean, I got my first taste of fitness was in our living room floor. Matter of fact, the Over 40 Club of Body Electric. Body Electric was Miss Richards. She was a group fitness instructor in Tallahassee, Florida. I'm from Panama City, Florida, and she was on a TBS station or some kind of PBS station, okay? And she would do workouts. I don't know if it was every day. I can't exactly remember, but my mother would follow along.
Okay.
And I would just go in the living room sometime and just work out with her.
Okay.
And let's see, that moved up to a gym when the gym opened up near my parents' house at the time, and I would go into the nursery. They had a window overlooking the gym floor, and I would just watch my mother for hours.
Right.
You know, and couldn't wait to join her. And then my parents always made sure I was in sports. I was very athletic as a kid, gymnastics, soccer. I was always in the top 3 of the Presidential Fitness Award in school.
Okay.
I was a track runner. I was an 800-meter runner. I was top 3 every event, never higher, never lower. Archery, tennis, racquetball, volleyball. I was a MVP softball player in all county in high school. And after that, I was also 4 years of weightlifting in high school as well. Okay. So I've been around so much of it, and then I joined the military. And because I had so much fitness background, I was actually nominated as the fitness leader for my boot camp company, which just so happens to be the first male-female gender-integrated basic training company in the world. Well, it's not something in the world, in the United States military.
Oh, in the military, okay.
So I have that cute little title I can
Is
claim.
it a plaque on your wall or something?
No, really. It's just one of those things.
They should give you one.
Yeah, thanks. So I know I led a group of, I can't remember I think it was 60 men and 60 women in daily exercises. And then I did my time in the military, got out, and kind of just drifted for a while. And I was actually in college for pre-medicine. Came across exercise science degree program because my life at the situation at the time, I just couldn't really handle pre-medicine.
Right.
And I said, oh, wow, you mean personal trainers have degrees? Okay. And so I did it, you know, and got certified through the ACSM, which is the American College of Sports Medicine, in my senior year, and started personal training in college. Okay. And just went from there. I moved to Vegas in end of 2005, 2006. I independently became a trainer. So I've had a few other cool gyms in the past, and I draw from so many styles. I can't stick to just one style. Right. You know, most trainers are machines and free weights.
Right.
Because that's what you see in the magazines.
That's true.
Well, I mean, I've got military basic training preparation. I studied bar fitness, which is ballet, Pilates, metabolic training, sports-specific training. I've had so many injuries myself, and I've been in and out, honestly, of physical therapy.
She's had some serious injuries.
Yeah,
Wow.
lower back injury.
I think the last time I saw her, her shoulder was.
Yeah, I had my shoulder reconstructed for the second time in 2010, and I went and educated myself on the whole rehabilitation process for a shoulder.
Wow.
And then of course I have a degenerative disc disorder all through my back from all the years of military, and in the military back then we didn't follow proper form.
Sure. They're just
They-
like, go do it.
Just do
Quit
it. Yeah,
whining.
exactly. You did it,
Big
and if
baby.
it hurt, if you blew out a back, oh well, keep going.
That's right. It's the military.
Exactly.
Should be tough.
So yeah, I just accumulated all this different types of training over the years, and then of course, I was into looking at bodybuilders when I was younger. So, I've got some information from
There's your
magazines.
encouragement right there, right?
So, I'm very eclectic with my style.
And when you brought up other trainers that work with mostly machines or free weights,
Mm-hmm.
do you think they do that based on that's what their client sees and is used to, and they're like, well, I don't want to go too far out of the box here with my client, otherwise they might not keep me?
Well, I'm not really sure. Each individual is different. I'm very lucky that City Athletic Club houses some of the top trainers in the city.
Right.
So we have a very large section that's for things that aren't necessarily free weights or machine weights, as we call it, the functional area.
Okay.
Where you can do different things, body weight stuff, and there's boxes there all the time, and MMA fighters practicing or whatever. So, I think the reason why a lot of trainers stick with weights, it's because they gain their knowledge from magazines.
Okay.
And
Wow.
then,
Don't you have to go to some school and get certified and all that?
Not really.
Well, I mean, if you want to be in a gym, you don't even have to be certified.
That is correct. There's no state requirements
Interesting.
for being a trainer. I mean, you both can. If you both wanted to be trainers right now, you could say you could. Now, whether or not a trainer's going to let you train, whether or not a gym's going to let you train there, that's a different thing.
Sure.
Well, the minute they saw me, they would think that guy's I'm a trainer.
Immediately,
Yeah,
I
they
would think
say
that
They would
I'm
think
going to
that.
go with George because that's always
Yeah.
the great situation when you see the person that is a trainer walking around with the person getting in shape, and they're both the same size.
Yeah. Well, also remember with a lot of, body fat and muscle size varies throughout someone's life.
Sure.
I mean, just 4 years ago, I was sporting a 135-pound body at 10% body fat.
435?
135.
I'm just teasing you.
You wish. All boobs, right?
All boobs.
Hey, I wouldn't.
Fall over.
Yeah. So I was 135 pounds at 10% body fat,
Okay.
ripped to the core. I have a six-pack you guys would just be jealous of, and was very in shape.
Mhm.
And then over the past couple years, body's changed. A little more feminine now.
Right.
Enjoying having an ass, let me tell you.
You like it. Mm-hmm. I'm sure other people do too.
And there was a time, like coming out of basic training, I looked like a dude, to be honest.
Yeah. We don't like that.
Yeah,
So-
guys kind of don't usually generate. I mean,
So when you work with a trainer, you might have a trainer that's putting on a lot of fat because maybe they are bulking,
Right.
and that's just how they bulk.
Okay.
Okay, and then you might have a trainer that's, maybe they're a running coach.
Okay.
They're real skinny or skinny fat or whatever. We have a couple of trainers female trainers that are bodybuilders, and their bodies is what sells them. Therefore, they are always big and ripped.
Right.
So it all depends. I mean, if you want to, in my professional opinion, you don't judge trainers off how they look at them because you don't know where they are. I mean, like me right now, I do not care to look like
a guy.
a guy.
Right.
Yay.
See, I'll put it
We're
out.
happy about that.
We'll put it out.
I don't want to look ripped right now. I
Right.
don't want to. I might change my mind in 6 months. Who knows? Okay.
Right.
So I'm just walking around with a lot higher body fat percentage. You could tell I work out though. I mean, my legs have always been pretty muscular. But you don't want to judge a trainer based off their look because you never know if you see a 22-year-old kid who's on roids. Oh, he looks big.
Right.
And he's just one of these people, he can just lift a dumbbell and get huge.
Well,
Right.
Would you
Okay.
would you base a boxing trainer off of the way he teaches someone how to box?
Well, you want to watch them, of course.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So,
but-
I mean, he may not be the biggest, he could be an older gentleman for all you know. You may look at him and go, wow, that guy's a wuss. How could he be training somebody? He could be the best at what he does.
That's correct. You might have a trainer that doesn't look the part, but they just remember there's more to train than
they're educated.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, they say there's qualified and certified, whatever. Okay, to be qualified to me is someone who knows, who understands the walk, has walked it, and knows how to talk it.
Okay.
And also get other people to walk and talk it as well.
Right.
All right. Versus just looking at part. Because like I said, someone can be just naturally buff.
Right.
And they may not know a damn thing.
And it is unfortunate because that's the barometer of okay, you might know a lot, but then they would say to themselves, then why aren't you using that same education, and how are you going to be able to help me? Because that's the weird rub when you want to give them money to help you, but then you're like, okay, am I going to give them money, and is it going to help me? Am I going to achieve the goals that I want? And she's got a ton of before and after pictures on her website, trainerjoe.com, by the way.
I think she looks nice now. So
she looks great. Yeah.
Thank you.
And but you actually have that, so people can say, oh, she's able to take this person from this look to this, so she could probably do the same for you.
Yeah, and also keep in mind that you're not just, like I said, there's a trainer image, what the trainer knows, and there's also, can the trainer motivate you to follow along? This is a whole different dynamic right here. You got a psychological, dynamic where you're dealing with a client.
There's ghosts in here. Don't worry about it.
No, the door's open.
That's what George said.
But there's a dynamic where, let's just say I have a client that has an eating disorder.
Right.
And typically I have to get into their head, find out, well, why are they having these? What's really going on in their heads? Because if they don't address it, there's no amount of knowledge I have.
Right.
There's no amount of motivation that they have. They're not going to reach their goals. Okay. And let's see a couple of other things, like let's say to me one of the biggest maker or breakers in like someone's program is spouse.
Okay.
If the spouse is not supportive, they're not going to do very well.
It's hard to have a family, a spouse, or even your kids that are always maybe eating healthy or not supporting you in what you're doing. That can be the make or break of you getting to the goals that you want to be at.
Yeah. So a trainer has to know exactly what all the barriers are at and know how to get around it. To me, the hardest barrier to get around is a client that is unmotivated because they have not found their why yet. And what I mean by why is the true reason why they are sitting in front of me and wanting to lose weight.
Yeah, it's a very important thing to have. Is it could be because you want to look better. The pool season's coming up, or you may have been diagnosed with something, and that's your why. Or you want to be just around for your kids or something like that. That's a great why. Is that I want to be here and to walk them either down the aisle or be at their wedding or something like that.
Yeah, that's a great why. But for a lot of people, they'll come, oh, I just want to look good in a dress. Or no, that's not a good enough why.
Right.
Because what happens the day you look good in the dress, or let's just say you're on your way, you're losing weight.
Sure.
And the truth is, maybe there's no intimacy at home between typically the woman and the spouse, or someone called them fat, or whatever.
Right.
There's something that's underlying there that it's there. They subconsciously know it's there, but they consciously haven't addressed it.
Right.
And that is one thing I've found to be the hardest, is getting them to address the true reason why they want to lose weight.
Right.
And as a trainer, that's important, but it's really outside the scope of my practice.
Well, I don't think that a lot of people take that time. It could be, oh, you want to train? Okay, meet me here tomorrow. Okay, give me 20 push-ups. It's instead of, I'm assuming just by the way that you're speaking, is that you will take the time before any of that activity happens to sit down and say, all right, let's talk about what your goals are. Not just the goals. Okay, I want to lose 25 pounds, but why? And that's how I can help you design the workout the best for you, and your eating regimen the best for you, is knowing not just I want to fit in my size 2 pants. It's I want to be here for this or whatever.
And a lot of times I don't find that out on the first day.
Come on.
I might no.
You need to poke more.
Well, maybe if I can give them the truth serum.
I think you should. You should come up with that.
And you carry that around with you, right?
I bet you if you could concoct that, you could sell it and make a bunch of money.
No, I could. But, there's been a couple of cases where, I've had some people that come to me, and they never really, they're like, well, you know what, if I get like a size 5, I'll be happy. I just want to get down to a size 5. I just want to lose the weight. That's all I want.
Right.
I'm tired of being fat. That's it. And they're not willing to address truly with. And then,
how do you take that, though? If someone just says that to you, do you just
I take them on and then I find out.
So then you will take that time to inquire.
I will.
You won't just say,
I will
okay,
ask questions.
we're going to do that.
Yeah, I dig. Over the next few weeks, I dig.
Okay.
Until I find out what it is. And then I present it to them. And, I let them know that, hey, look, if you want to get laid and that's it, it's okay. Good. Let's get you laid, girl.
Right.
Come on, let's get you looking good so you get laid. And that's what a lot of the times it all boils down to is it's sex.
Pretty much.
It really, really is sex.
Pretty much.
Whether or not
Give
she's
us a percentage about. I mean, because you deal with men and women, so let's look at both sides. What's the percentage for both that tell you, I just want to get laid?
I think honestly,
Come on.
75% of them.
On both ends?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, so it's almost pretty much
It's
equal
even.
both sides.
Yeah, they don't admit
See,
it.
it's not just guys that only think about
'cause,
sex.
well,
Women think about it just as
Yeah.
much.
See, girls, I mean, with us, we may not necessarily want to get sex, but we want to know we have that option. To
You
us,
always have the option. What are you talking
not
about?
necessarily. You
You
live in
wa-
Las Vegas. And
No.
When you're a girl, and this is coming from a girl's point of view,
I'm
because I
here.
understand,
I'll hear
okay?
ya.
Sometimes if we don't look like a VIP bottle server
matter.
with that little itty bitty 21-inch
Oh,
waistline,
see,
and
I don't like them
big,
kind of women.
See,
I
you
don't
got
like
a
them.
fan right here.
So I wish men like you would be more vocal. Because I think that if
I am. I do
He's
shows.
vocal, but
I'm totally
but
vocal.
women
all the
will
time.
sometimes take that as you're being too aggressive. I honestly believe that regardless of what you look like, you could walk out on any street, wave your arm in the air, and say, "Who wants to have sex with me?"
Yeah,
and
but-
the line. But see, there goes
See,
the.
I want a
Okay,
woman
okay.
with a good heart.
See,
But
okay, this
we
is where
want a specific guy to have sex with. We don't want
That's
a line
true.
of
Yeah.
C's.
So
and then-
it's an irrational.
Now
Like I
you're
say,
getting picky.
we women want to know that we have options. Just like guys
think
want to have
all
options.
peop- yeah, people want
Gu-
that.
Guys want options and be able to practice it. I think for a lot of girls, we just want to know that we walk out the room, some dude's going, "Wow, look at that."
But doesn't that happen all the time?
We don't know.
Do you get hit on in a grocery store?
I don't know.
Come on. Some guy doesn't smile at you when you're walking down the aisle getting food. I don't buy that.
Usually, I'm hungry. I'm not paying attention to them.
See?
But it is happening. But it doesn't really happen to guys.
No.
See?
And
But you are saying it's 75%.
yeah. I
That,
mean,
that
it
say
all
that they
boils
want
down
that.
to we all want to look good. And why do we all want to look good?
For me.
Yes, for you, for the opposite sex. What's it all boils down to?
So you look in the mirror, George, and you say, "Yes, that's
Now I look in the mirror and I think, God, I'm getting old.
where'd all my hair go?"
And what the hell happened here in the last 2 years?
Let's be honest here, okay? If there was no visual change for the better in
Right.
exercise, what percentage of people won't even bother?
Nobody would do it.
No.
Very few, exactly. Okay, until of course you're of that point where you're got one foot in the grave. Then all of a sudden, oh God, I gotta get in the gym, whatever,
Right.
right? But if there is no visual change in order to motivate you, there is really no incentive for most people. I mean, at least most people that come to train. Now, don't get me wrong. I had some people come in. The doctor said you're a diabetic. You got this much blockage in your arteries in your heart, or whatever. Okay, and they're like, Joe, I need to get healthier. I don't want to die in 5 years.
Right.
I've had them. Yes, I had.
Right.
And I told them, I said, okay, well, here's the deal. If you're also looking to lose weight, this is what needs to be followed. And they're like, no, I don't care about losing weight. I just don't want to die.
Right.
And I've gotten people off of blood pressure medications and diabetes medication, which in my opinion, most of them was BS anyway.
Right.
So I think, and I've had doctors pissed off at me for it too.
Well, of course, they're losing their money.
Exactly.
Well, and that brings up something I was going to, since you are not only just the physical side of it, but the health side of it and eating and stuff, the things that you might hear about these days, it's been talked about for a long time, but things like candida or things like that, is this mythical or is this really something that, destroys bodies, let's say?
Well, here's what I think. I think every profession out there is trying to make get their name out there. I think they're trying to make their mark in a world flooded with so many experts.
On a side note, George and I have talked about this on a previous show that we kind of just said, you know what, maybe just the health and fitness industry, it just goes off of one another because there's always something new that you need to do, and the old stuff is bad, and it's like, okay, what do we do? Because
like
you just
insanity.
told
Then
me.
you go on to monkey crunching. Then they go on, it's all these things. Now the other one, I guess that's part of the insanity where you muscle trick it or something. I know.
Plateauing. And
Yeah,
all that.
muscle. Yeah. And after a while, you're just kind of like, well, if it works so well, why isn't everybody doing this? And I do realize that different people have different bodies and they're going to be affected differently.
Well, I tell people personal trainers are like doctors. You're not going to know everything about the human body.
Okay.
I'll tell you right now, I don't know everything about fitness. I don't know everything about health.
Right.
But I am very open-minded to learning.
Okay.
I'm very open-minded to at least learning about what it's about, okay? I've heard this, I've heard that, I've seen it work for this person, but not for that person. I think when it comes to each individual person, they need to take some level of self-responsibility, okay, for themselves, responsibility for themselves to figure out what is working for me and what hasn't worked for me, and let's just go grab a professional and let's tie it all together. Because
Okay.
you know.
But see, you're a good trainer then, because obviously you're finding out what works. You're learning and being knowledgeable of it. You're not just taking what somebody's saying and pushing it on to somebody else.
Correct, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I start off a lot of my training clients on a certain diet. I call it my 25 diet, okay?
Okay.
And what I do is I tell them, like I said, this may or may not work for you. The whole point is to get you started somewhere.
Sure.
Okay, and then we'll branch off from there. You might need more carbs. You might need more protein. You might need less fat. Maybe you need an extra meal. Maybe we need to drop this down one meal. Everyone's going to be different, but this is a starting point, and you need to be open with me and transparent. Let me know how you're feeling. Don't just go, oh, I feel like crap, and go off and go eat something different. Like,
Right.
okay, like I had one girl who, she was so hungry. What does she do? She goes off the China One buffet.
Yeah, that'll do it.
That was smart. And now you wonder why you're 5 pounds heavier in water this week, and then Monday you're perfectly fine again, you know? So we just get to get you going. So what I do is I have my own little starter diet that I put everybody on, and then I just go off and branch out from there.
So they start doing the diet. You get from them in that maybe that first 2-week analysis of what they're really looking for, and they're doing the diet, and then they come back at you and go, okay, this is what happened during the diet. And you're like, okay, this is what I learned from you too. Now we can go in the direction that you really need to
Correct.
go
Yeah.
into.
So basically, there's a system you design, and like I said, I'll be honest, I use a bland general diet to start everybody else on, unless of course they're telling me something like, oh yeah, I know for a fact that I eat too many carbs, I'll gain weight. Okay, good. I'm gonna go ahead and drop the carbs off of this. Okay, so I start them off. You design, you implement, and then you take feedback, and then you adjust.
Okay.
That's how every person who is dietitian, nutrition, whatever, right, should be doing. There is no one diet fits all for everybody. There isn't. Like, you couldn't follow my diet, could you?
I don't know. I don't know what you
I
eat.
doubt you could.
Huh. What do you eat?
Me?
Yeah.
Everything.
Then
Well,
I
then I
follow
can,
that
I can
diet.
follow that diet.
I know.
That was easy.
Right now, I mean, I try to eat pretty, like, I mean, I'm gluten insensitive.
Okay.
So, or excuse me, gluten sensitive, sorry. Gluten sensitive, so I dropped gluten from my diet. Now, I love breads, and like this morning, I had a croissant. Okay, I did. I love it.
see?
But I know what to expect today or later on the day and tomorrow, though. Okay,
Okay.
you know?
So you're prepared. You're like,
But you're working on the butt too, so.
Correct, yeah.
I see.
I'm willing to take that risk because I want to eat this, but I know what's coming. It's not like I'm going to eat this and oh my God, why do I feel this way? Well,
Exactly.
you just ate 4 pieces of pizza, man.
Yeah.
Why can't I go to the bathroom? I don't know. There's a bunch of cheese in it too, man. What are you talking about?
That's a good
I
example
mean,
right there.
it really is that way. It's like, how come
Yeah.
I can't do this? I'm like, you're full of cheese and bread.
Yeah.
And that's why you haven't gone poop for 3 days.
I tell you what, there's a lot of information out there floating. And for most people who are not, it's not like we learned about diet in school. I got to admit, actually, I did. I learned about diet and nutrition in school growing up. I started off in Christian school. So from a very early age, I knew that pizzas were bad for you, hamburgers were bad for you. I knew ice cream was bad for you.
Because that's what all
Okay.
Christians teach.
Yeah,
I'm teasing.
So I know for years what's good and bad. I also
Sure.
knew that growing up, I grew up on Southern food. I knew that was bad for us, but we loved it, so we ate it.
You know,
And
a good piece of fried chicken, man, it's pretty tasty.
Okay, I got a question I've been dying to ask.
Yeah.
All right, now you see all these commercials for all these sports drinks. How good are they actually
They're
for
full
the
of
people?
sugar.
They're just mostly sugar, right?
Yes. Okay. So here, understand what sports drink is for. Okay. When you're working out and you're sweating, your body is expelling mostly salt or sodium. Okay. That creates a discrepancy between sodium and potassium levels in the body, which is the two main substances in the body that control hydration levels within and within the cell walls and outside the cell walls. Okay, when you expel too much sodium, your body is more likely to dehydrate. Okay. If you increase your sodium, your body is more likely to overhydrate. That's the reason why some people have high blood pressure, okay? So what the sports drink does is it supplies a certain amount of potassium and a larger amount of sodium back into the body immediately, so the body can actually start rehydrating itself, okay? Now, sugars inside of it is like, I would be the kind of person who would buy one that does have sugars in it. People who are trying to lose weight may not want to, But I don't see the point in having a sport. If you are working at an intensity that you are sweating profusely, you probably want those sugars in your sports drink.
Right.
It's not really that bad depending on what you're doing.
Yeah, but you also
if you're just drinking it,
if you're just drinking for the
just
hell of it,
because you're sitting here, I like the
stupid.
taste.
Then you're
going
going to gain weight, obviously,
you
just
could.
sitting around drinking this stuff.
And it depends on which one you get. If you want to avoid the sports drinks that are loaded with, specifically says high fructose corn syrup, because anything that's the one you got to watch out for. There are some sports drinks out there that are like higher in sucrose or other types of sugars. I mean, you want to be careful how much. You know, you're still talking about sugars, okay?
Right.
But like I don't agree with a lot of them that are just loaded with junk.
And like the monster drinks and stuff that everybody thinks that they're getting hyped up on. I mean, I don't really think they could be that great for you, could they?
No comment.
George, that's a sponsor of mine. I can't make that.
I mean, I'm not a. The only energy drink I drink is XS. So
I've never even heard of XS.
And what is XS? I haven't heard of
XS
it
is
yet.
just a more loaded with vitamin Bs.
Oh, we're going to have her on another show to talk about
that.
XS.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm guessing by listening to what she's saying. I do want to point out that people should go to your website, trainerjoe.com. Besides the fact that you can find her rates, some of the programs that she does, the before and afters. You can also read her blog, and she's got some great information that it's all free, you know, and it's not to say that you shouldn't bring her on board as your trainer, but if you want to just kind of read into it and say, okay, I'm looking to lose weight, I'm looking to get into better shape, maybe I haven't been in a bit, I'm going to read this and all this good information, and that'll start them on the track to getting healthier.
Yeah. Yeah, again, like I said, again, a lot of information. You know, the hardest part for most people is just start. Make that decision that you're going to do it. And when you want it bad enough, you will find a way to do it.
Have you ever had somebody come in and do it and then get totally disgusted because you were, you know, on them like you should be, and then they turn around and come back again?
Like they lost all the weight, and then you don't see them for a year, and they come back, and you're like, well, all that hard work we did.
Or like you started it with them, and you know you're telling them to do the crunches, this and that, and they're feeling like kind of like, oh, I just can't do this, so they walk away and then regret that and turn around, and come back, and say, look, I'm ready to really get into it this time.
Let's see. Yeah, that's had a couple times. Most of those people don't stick around long enough anyway.
Right.
Yeah, they're just wishy-washy like that. But you know, it's because, like I said, they haven't found their why. You know, when they know in their heart they have a good, solid reason to lose weight, okay, they will be self-motivated. If you do not have your why set, it's going to be hard. And as a trainer, I mean, usually the only way that we can help somebody in a situation like that, we either take a lot of their money. So there's your why.
Right.
So we
Do you
created
ever
a
not
why.
take on a client because you're just like, oh, you don't have it and I don't want to take your money, or you're like, I'm in business?
Yeah, I've had.
I mean, I'm putting you on the spot.
I've had
obviously,
people.
but-
I've had people with unrealistic expectations. I can't help you.
Like this, I want to get taller too and get buff. That can't happen.
Like
right?
some came to me and they want to lose 40 pounds in 1 week.
Wow.
What?
Just try like getting a meat cutter out
Are
or
you
something.
Yeah, let me
serious,
take a
dude?
chunk out of your leg.
You know, I mean, these unrealistic expectations because they see these stupid
Commercials?
out
Yeah,
there that,
right.
it's, oh yeah, one person lost this much weight in this amount of time, and they think, oh, I can lose it too.
What about those pills? You can sleep overnight and just burn the fat.
Yeah, there's a few pills that do work. I can admit they do. All right, but again, you're not making yourself stronger. You're just losing the fat, and then now you're dependent upon those pills to
keep
lose
it
weight.
off.
And guess
Right.
what? Most of those pills are off the market within a few months.
That's right.
Now you no longer have that pill anymore. And if you lose,
And there's a reason they're
yeah.
off the
And
market.
if you lose weight, other than exercise and diet, okay, that means you're not building the muscle underneath. I call the muscle that you're building underneath or metabolically activating.
Right.
If you don't have that, you no longer have insurance on your weight loss. That will help sustain your weight loss a little longer. Because if you lose weight through pills alone, and then you turn around and you come off of it, your rebound weight gain will be even worse than your first weight gain.
Wow.
You'll gain back more. You will.
That's yeah.
Oh,
that-
and that fat you just gained, the rebound weight gain, is now more stubborn than it was the first time.
So it's harder to burn.
Yes. That's what's going on with a lot of people. They're trying to do it the cheap, easy way, and then they get fatter again, and then each time it's harder and harder and harder, and then they get sick and tired.
And then they go drink diet soda.
Yeah.
They're just like, you know, screw it. I'm going to, yeah, they love that aspartame. I just screw it. I'm done. I've tried this. I yo-yo up and down, and I'm like, And then they take that mindset of, I guess I'm just supposed to look like
Yeah.
this.
Well, that's kind of society. Our society is very, very addicted to immediate gratification.
Sure.
They want to see results now. It's the same thing with jobs. I mean, honestly, do you think you'd keep a job if they only paid you once a month? Heck no.
I need that money.
No, you want that money. You want to see it next week on your
You want
on
it before
payday.
you've even started.
Yeah, so that's job employers' way of satisfying this need for immediate gratification.
Right.
Okay, if they had their way, they'd pay you at the end of whatever quarter instead, probably, right?
Right.
Well, then it's also the bill companies that need instant gratification.
That too. Yeah, there you go. So we live in a society that I want to see results now,
Right.
yesterday, right?
Yeah.
And I got to admit, and I want to make this recommendation to anybody out there that's listening. Okay, if you're one of these people that's a victim of that mindset, there's a book that you should read. It's called The Slight Edge.
Okay.
The Slight Edge is just basically going over the whole concept of making small decisions every day, good decisions every day that add up and pay off in the end,
Right.
versus making a bunch of small bad decisions every day that will kick you in the butt. Okay, so if you apply this mindset into weight loss, you understand I need to eat right. How many meals a day, no cheating. I need to get my workouts in, and I will not see the results for a while. But if I keep on going and keep on going, I will. And I will be at my goal. Because you could do that, or you can make a bad decision, eat like crap how many times a day.
Sure.
Skip your workout, which is a decision.
Sure.
And then
It was a decision to eat that crap food too.
Yeah, in that same amount of time, you will be what you look like now or worse.
Right.
Okay. So it's like, that book doesn't necessarily apply to just weight loss. It applies to just the whole concept of making small, right decisions
Sure.
compounded over time.
And it's not just the weight that's the issue, because you, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, but you'll go in and let's say you're at 250 and you start working out hard, you're lifting weights and all that, because muscle is heavier than fat.
More dense. And
More
fat
dense.
as well.
And as well. So you could go in there at 250, bust your butt for 2 weeks, come back and look, and it might say 249. Well, but you're adding muscle, and the fat is burning. If it wasn't doing that, and it was going at the same rate, then you'd probably be at 255 or something like that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you're right. So I
I only said that just to not be a discouragement for people that need to step on the scale all the time.
I know. And and this
She's like,
is
shut up, quit talking.
This is, I think, the reason why most diets fail, and most people's attempts to fail, is that they have an unrealistic time frame in mind. It's the
Sure.
whole immediate, like I said, immediate gratification. That you need to get out of that mindset of expecting immediate results or wanting your goals within this short amount of time.
Sure.
Everything is small decisions compounded over a longer amount of time.
Right.
And if you're patient, you will see results. Most people start a diet, they quit after a couple weeks.
Right.
Or they start working out. The majority of people who start working out on New Year's Eve, whatever, right?
Sure.
Half of them are done within 3 months.
Yeah, or 2.
50% failure rate. Why
Yeah.
is that? They are unrealistic on their goals.
Right.
And that is the reason. It's not the diet, it's not the workout, it's their attitudes.
Exactly. Well, if you're looking to lose weight, gain lean muscle, or just get your body in that Vegas poolside ready condition, then definitely give Miss Trainer Joe a call. You can get her information, rates, workouts, all that stuff at trainerjoe.com. This show will be up later, so if you missed any of this, there will be an archive later on tonight on the JeremyWomackShow.com. Also, more of her information there, too. She's a great girl. Got a lot of good stuff going on, and she's
okay.
definitely, she's okay. And definitely worth the investment to go with her. So we're going out here, George?
Do you want me to take you out?
Well, I guess
can do that.
I think
you're
you need
gonna
to go
take
do
me out?
burpees with me.
Well, I'll let
Yeah,
you
he's got to
it.
do some burpees. I got to see
I think
this.
we get that on video.
You're going to tune in tomorrow, 1 p.m. I got Charity Faith coming on. If you're a big fan of the restaurant Skinny Fats, she's the mastermind behind all that branding campaign. So check it out tomorrow. This is Jeremy Womack Show. Turner Joe, Josephine Dalton. Thanks for hanging out. And George on the board and the mic. We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye-bye.